Welcome to The Ripple Within, a podcast by All in One Life Coaching. I'm Michelle, a certified life coach specializing in mindset, emotional wellness, and the law of attraction. I work with people to help create the narrative around their desired outcome.
And I'm Kathy. I'm here to ask the questions, explore the patterns, and share the real life moments that make this all, well, make sense.
This show is about the connection between how we feel and the physical reality we experience every day. We'll explore how our thoughts lead to outcomes and how narrative shifts can create big change.
We'll keep it grounded using logic and lived experience, not just theory. And if you've ever wondered why you feel stuck, reactive, or out of sync with yourself, you're not alone.
Our life experience will always match how we feel. This podcast is about exploring our ripple within, how our thoughts, emotions, beliefs, and values contribute to the physical life we live. Let's get into it. Welcome back, everyone. Kathy, what have you got for us today?
Well, I was thinking about stuff, mostly about choosing happiness and
Mm.
how that can affect who we meet, who continues to be in our lives, and the possibility that maybe some of those things change just slightly, and how we can assist ourselves in progressing through that journey.
Okay, that's a lot for us to talk about. A couple questions for you. What does happiness mean to you?
I It's different levels. I mean, I can certainly be over the top, but I can be content. I don't mind being content now. I used to I used to think there was something wrong with that. I'm just kind of meh, meh, and meh is okay, right? Meh is okay. I It's not about needs, wants, all of that stuff. I just want to, wake up and be happy and look forward to every day. There's always bumps in the road, always, but that's what makes us grow and get better and be better and do better and all of that stuff. I have a fiance, as most people know, and he is, I, I am in awe of him every day. Um, well, we're going to get into some deep stuff today, are we?
Only if you're comfortable.
And I think a lot of it stems from maybe the belief that we didn't deserve something like that.
Mm,
You know what I mean? And I really
mm.
am in awe of him every day. He's patient and kind and thoughtful, and I just some days I have flat out asked him. I'm like, I don't I don't know how you do this 99% of the time. And he'll look at me and he go, "You're the one that taught me. You're the one that taught me how to be positive." But he's taken it to a whole new level. Do you know what I mean? Because
Why do you think that is? Why do you think he's taking it to a whole new level?
I, I don't want to speak, but I don't know. Maybe he just wants to be better. Maybe he wants to help me be better. Maybe he wants to remind me to. I, I,
What if it's more let's go back to you for a second because you're right. We can't speak on his behalf,
right.
but we want to be able to correlate some things. So let me ask you. Let's go back a little bit. What does happiness feel like for you? What happens with your physical body?
Deep breaths are easier. No headaches. You sleep better. You go to sleep better. You you go with the flow. Something happens, you just kind of go with it. No, you don't have
So
to
is your
think.
body more relaxed or
Yeah, yeah,
tense?
yeah. I
So,
think very so.
yeah.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
So when we describe what happiness is, would we be able to then say it's more of that sense of just being at ease? The body relaxes, the mind calms, things become clearer. Would you be able to put those items together to be able to say that's what happiness means to you? You mentioned something earlier about it's not about need or want, and that's a little bit tricky because it is about need and wants. Like it is about things that make your heart sing and float your boat and help you go with the flow. It is all of those things, and that is part of the need of our human experience.
It- yeah, yeah. One of the things we'll be doing something or driving somewhere, and somebody will cut you off or whatever, and I'll have my little vent session or whatever, or we'll be playing a video game and something will go horribly wrong, and I'll make a comment about myself, like, dumbass, you shouldn't have did it or whatever, and he is on it. Like I know I do it. I don't know why. And I'm sure like there's millions of other people in the world that do it too. You can be in the best mood in the world, and then something happens, and you're like, "No, you idiot, or you dumb?" And you're talking about yourself and why we do that to ourselves when, I mean, I know better. I do, but I do it anyways, right? So
Yeah. What do you think the intention is when you do say it?
remind myself of my imperfections.
Okay, so we can hear how that just sounded. Like, how did that feel to say out
Yeah.
loud? It's why when we often hear other people do that, we are quick to say, don't say that about
Yeah.
yourself. That's not true, right? Especially if the intention is to remind ourselves that we're not perfect, right? Because again, it's not that we're going to run around saying that we're perfect because there's just so much to learn and grow and expand in this experience. But the reality is, you kind of are perfect from a sense of, first of all, you even exist in this time space reality. The odds of that happening are just astronomical. You're in this physical form with the ability to think for yourself and create and move and make decisions and explore and do all of these things. So, in the bigger picture, there is some perfection in that. And you were certainly born from a place of that beauty, right? So when we say that we're not perfect, it's not because we run around going, "Ooh, I'm perfect and I have no room to grow." That's not what that really means. It's when we put everything together about even being in this time space reality, for everything that had to line up for us to even get here. I mean, it's pretty profound that we're here. So when we're talking about law of attraction, being happy, kindness, as you mentioned, your fiance is so kind and thoughtful and curious and helpful and patient. Those are all things that make sense and line up perfectly with how you emotionally and physically connect to that. When we talk about law of attraction, that's exactly what we're talking about. We get what we put out, period. We just do. And through the course of this podcast, we're going to show and explain how that happens, precisely how it happens. So, for example, with you and your fiance specifically, and him saying he's learning from you, he's felt the difference. He's physically felt that difference. Otherwise, why would he do it if it didn't feel better?
Yeah.
We're wired to feel better. We just are. And when he realized that you were coming to the table intentionally, I know that you've made conscious decisions to check on where you are. I know that you've made, sticky notes that, remind you of things. I know that you take the time and put in the effort for you to feel better. That's what this is about. We're not doing it for anybody else. We love them so much, but we're not doing it for them. We're doing it for us. And we do it for us, and then they get to reap that ripple effect, that byproduct of us doing that. And you and I've talked about this quite a bit, where they're either going to come or they're just going to not be in our experience. Because although we can have, interactions where somebody might be in the bucket, as we say, or the rabbit hole, or people who are kind of living above the line more often than not, we are going to match up with those in our experience from both ends of the stick. But what makes it easier for people to come is when we're kind and patient and helpful and understanding and caring. And most of us don't realize that we are creating our environment based on where we are.
It's funny that you say that. When I started this journey, and I remember you said to me that people were going to come and people were going to go, and that I knew I needed to sort of prepare myself for that and be okay with that, right? So people have come and people have gone, and that in including family members, like
Yeah.
really close family members, right? And
Yeah. Well, and we can talk about that too from a perspective of, it's logical when we choose to live an experience where we are going to make it our intention to be kind, to be accepting, to be loving, to do our best to not judge from a negative perspective, to understand that this is a collaboration of everything that exists and that we're not in it alone. And it's logical that when we choose to practice our behavior, to set those intentions to be that way, to view negative things as opportunities for improvement and for discovery and to expand curiosity, for people who live in the rabbit hole, meaning they are complaining a lot, they've had a tough life experience, they feel like the world isn't fair. We can understand how when those two items come together, it's just, there's an uncomfortableness in there. And we'll notice that for people, and I used to do this when I was in the rabbit hole. Oh man, did I want you to come? I wanted you to come so bad to me.
yeah,
I wanted the sympathy, the justification, the taking my side over the other. I wanted it so bad. And for those that didn't come, I would be frustrated with them, and you don't understand and you don't get it. But the reality is, when we think about it in a bigger picture, why would we want them to come? Why would I want somebody to come to me here to, feel disrupted? That is not logical, but it is what we do as human beings, because it feels like that's where we're getting our say, our piece. And there's no wrongness in that. There's no wrongness in it. It's logical based on where we are. If we're miserable, upset, depressed, sad, worried, concerned, in fear, and hungry, any of those things, we are living in the rabbit hole. So when we take action from there and speak from there and send emails from there and pick up the phone to call friends or family from there, we're using language that matches that emotional state, whether we know it or not. Our tone is, potentially a little more harsh. We become potentially accusatory. We will point out wrongness. We'll notice all of the stuff that doesn't feel good. But that's logical based on where we are. So to bring it all the way back around for you and your fiance being able to line up now, your relationship, let's put it this way, it never would have worked with you living up here most of the time if he stayed here. There would have been arguments, there would have been frustrations, there would have been, I'm leaving, there would have been a lot of pointing the finger and a lot of you never or you always. There would have been a lot of that. And although it's been a bit of a practiced experience for humans to kind of live that way and think it's normal, it really isn't, right? You're meant to be with that one who is supportive and kind and trusting and loving and all of those things because that's who you are. That's who you're bringing to the table.
We
Make
were
sense?
it it does now. It does now. We were in the grocery store Friday night, I think, just having a good time, like nobody else was in the room.
What made Friday night so fun for you?
It was like we were the only two people in the store. We we were having fun and looking for new things and just taking our time. There was no we both dislike grocery shopping, just for the record. But the fact that we were doing it together and it was date night and we'd had dinner and so just needed to grab and it was like we were the only two people in the store laughing and just having I'm sure we looked great on video camera in the store, but it just you know dodging in and he out of the aisles and like it was just it
Yeah,
was
just having
so
fun.
fun. It was so fun. Like it was just I don't even know where it came from. It just
Yes, you
happened,
do.
right? Oh, do I do
Yes,
it?
you do.
Okay.
You know where it came from. Look at it from a logical perspective. Where were you on the emotional scale?
I
Where did you have to be on the emotional scale to be able to achieve that goal?
yeah, we were both significantly above the line. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Right. You were
Yeah.
in optimism. You were in fun mode, carefree, optimistic, curious. You were anywhere up there in order to be able to align with feeling good.
And it just didn't matter if, that other not that we were not disrespectful of anybody. We were not any of that, right? It
Yeah,
just didn't matter that anybody else was in the store. We were just doing us, right?
exactly.
We were going with the
Exactly.
flow, just having fun. I'm can't even, yeah.
Exactly.
It just
A- And that's the point about, you said something really important about not being disrespectful of others.
yeah.
So, how can we say that
Mm,
better? So, it wasn't that you were not disrespectful. What were
no.
you?
It was just about the two of us. It wasn't about anybody or anything else. It was just about the two of us.
And being respectful,
Yeah. Yeah. And it
right?
was, yeah.
But again, not because of anybody else, respectful for you and your partner and being able to have fun, go home, look in the mirror and be able to say that was a blast
Yeah.
versus folks will say, well, I had fun in a store, but they're loud. And yes, they might be having fun. And then they go home and go, oh, I hope I wasn't too loud. And I hope I didn't disrupt that family over there. And oh my goodness, I hope nobody thinks ill of me. Those are two different buckets. And that's that whole point of being able to really, that's the byproduct. That's that ripple effect that we talk about a lot of, is we can have all the fun in the world as long as we can, when we recall it, it's still fun. When we talk about it with friends and family or whenever it comes up in conversation, we can still talk about it as being fun. What'll get humans into trouble is we'll think we're having fun, and we probably are in the moment, and then we go away regretting what we did. That literally negates, from a law of attraction perspective, it negates all the fun you just had. And that's why it's important for us to know where we are on the scale. When we're on a scale to have fun, when we're on the scale to go with the flow and be respectful and be that person, you never have to worry about offending anybody, ever. Those two don't match. When should we go out and we think we're having fun, but we're really loud and then all of a sudden people are turning and looking at you. Now we have to challenge about what our real intention is. And that can be tricky. Is the intention right in that moment to truly have fun or to be a little disruptive? Is it to have fun or get noticed? Is it to have fun or get attention? Right? Those are in different buckets. And that's why you'll be able to tell this story forever, just like you did here, about how much fun you had, how there was no one else in the store, and not because you were being disrespectful. It is because you were respecting time, space, emotional awareness, where you are on the scale, and you'll be able to talk about it forever and a day and feel good about it. That's what we're shooting for.
Yeah, it still feels good. It's gonna make me
Yeah.
smile for a long time. Yeah, for sure.
Well, and that's going to tip into as well when we talk about creating, lists of things, of memories that you can recall quickly when we don't feel good. That's one you can add to your list. And when we talk about what did it feel like what was the thing happening within the body, like what was happening again, was it easy, were you bumping
Mm,
into things? I'm guessing no,
no, no,
right?
it
So
was yeah,
share.
yeah. It was so easy, and it felt light and airy. I don't know if those are the right words, but it it just it felt free and
Let's
peaceful.
talk
Like it
about
was
right and
just
airy really quick. Why did you second guess yourself about those potentially not being the right words?
it sounds like a weird marshmallow commercial. I mean, the light and airy. It's a marshmallow commercial, but
Well,
I
does light and airy feel good though?
oh, it does. Yeah, for sure, for sure.
So then it would be impossible for those to be the wrong words when
Yeah,
explaining something that felt good.
that's true. It truly felt like we were the only two people in the store, and
Yeah.
I know other people were there, but it just didn't matter.
Yeah.
It was truly
Yeah.
just I
Having fun.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It
Being
was
part of that experience. So, actually, because you said something else, and when I put my head down, so we know it's just I'm writing notes in my book,
yeah,
you mentioned something else that you both dislike grocery shopping.
yeah.
Would
I
you be
know.
able to
Not
say
the right
that
word.
now? How would you describe shopping now?
My initial reaction to that is we both need to be in the right mood.
Ooh, that
Right?
just gave me the chills, right?
Right? Yeah.
Because you're literally hitting the nail on the head. So, and we're going to practice a lot without being able to change words from the right word to a more accurate word, because we're going to talk a lot about it. There is no real right and wrong. That's a construct, right? There is no real right or wrong based on what we're doing from a law of attraction coaching perspective, because everything you feel is accurate based on where you are. So when we say not the right words, they are 100% of the time. The words you're using based on where you are accurate 100% of the time. They will never waver. So when we're confident, we use words that come with confidence. When we're insecure, we use words that come with insecure. Make sense?
Makes sense. Yeah.
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 So
We're
now again, oh, please go
no,
ahead.
no, no, sorry. We need to ensure where we are on the emotional scale before we go grocery shopping. I mean, that experience was it was
It was
phenomenal.
amazing.
Yeah, it was
And
amazing.
and why would you do that? Why would you, now that you know that you've started by saying we both dislike it
Yeah.
to we had the best time, now that you know that and you can mostly explain where you were on the emotional scale before you got there, and you said it so beautifully, gave me chills. We know we have to be in a specific state of being before we go do it,
Yeah. Agreed.
right?
Yeah,
That's
a
it's
thousand percent.
exactly what you said,
Yeah.
right? And that is the beauty of understanding where we are on the emotional scale before we take some sort of physical reaction or action. And it starts internally first. So we figure out, okay, I need to go grocery shopping and I've had a day. Then we can make this conscious decision now to go, ugh, if I go now, something that I previously just really didn't enjoy doing, you can guarantee you're not going to have a good time. You will notice everybody in the store. You will notice all of they're out of this and can't find that. And you'll just notice that. Whereas when you do that work, as you said, we'll make sure we're in a better mood before we go do it, then you're literally creating your next experience. You won't notice those folks. Because I assure you, no matter what store you were in, there was some stuff happening in there. Because not everybody is flying at the same level at the same
Yeah.
time. The difference is when we're here, we don't notice. We don't notice their business when we're here. When we're here, we notice.
Everything. Yeah.
We notice everything.
Yeah.
And those are beautiful indicators for us as people that as soon as we start to notice the crap that's going on around us, that's our indicator to go, whoo, playing in the bucket. Not quite sure why, maybe, but I'm here and I want to be somewhere else. And then making that conscious decision to do it.
So how do we you know people know when you need to go grocery shopping, right? So yes, you can control your mood. So what do you suggest we do in order to change that emotional momentum? If you're leaving work and you know you've had but you also know you need to stop at the grocery store on the on the way home. So you've got 5 or 10 minutes to find your new emotional state. How can we do that? Where do we start?
Well, first, let me ask you, what do you say to yourself before you go grocery shopping? What are some things that are going on in here prior to the grocery shopping?
Usually it's I dislike this experience. Oh man, gotta go grocery shopping. You know, like I just
Okay, so what we're doing internally is like, oh my God, I gotta go do this. I
yeah,
don't want to. I'm tired. It's been a
yeah,
day, blah, 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 blah. Right.
yeah.
So knowing what you know, if we know that that self narrative is in the bucket, then what is our work to do?
All yeah, all the way there is I'm gonna get in. I'm gonna find everything I need, and I'm gonna get out. Just
Yeah, it can
yeah,
be, it really can be that simple. And we can even expand on it even a little bit more. And as we'll learn, like how long did that take? Like 2 seconds for you to say that, right? So it's preparing ourselves for a future event that's going to turn out well. And in order to be able to do that, We have to use a narrative that's in that same bucket. So, just like you said, I can be in and out. I've made a list. I know exactly where everything is in the store. I'm going to do my best to enjoy the experience. I'm going to only pay attention to what's important to me. When we do that prior to the experience, let's figure out how it feels right now. When you were saying, oh, this is going to be a disaster versus I'll get in and out. Tell me, what was the physical difference that you felt in that?
Definitely better, much more empowered to know
Mm,
that that it was going to work out the way I want it to work out. Hey, empowered. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah.
And again, let's talk about that physical feeling of the body. Are we tense when we have to go to the store when we don't want to?
And we start that
Probably.
way. Yep.
Right?
Yep.
And then what happens to our physical body when we tell ourselves, you know what, it's not going to be that bad. I'm going to get in and out. No big deal. Going to have a nice dinner. Might buy myself a treat.
Yeah.
What's the physical difference in the body then?
There's much more relaxation for sure. Yeah.
That's exactly it. Right? So when we talk about, and I know that we're probably getting close to coming to a close for this episode. So if we'll wrap it up to basically the beginning. When we talk about how do we get to happiness, how do we choose happiness, first we have to understand and really put together the dots between what that actually feels like and what that means to us. So when we say what is happiness, I mean happy, and it can be different for everyone. We're all individual people. But really, isn't it a sense of calm, a sense of peace, a sense of relaxation, of inclusion, of lifting? That's what it is. It's not about getting the stuff. That's the byproduct. As you said, the need and the want, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Ugh.
Please.
I, it's empowering to know and be able to understand the words that we tell ourselves and how
Mhm.
important those words are to change our emotional state. It's
Yeah.
it's truly astounding. It
It's
really is.
how we can marry the two items from a law of attraction perspective about you get what you put out. And it's not because we're doing anything wrong. When we don't feel good, we need to validate that. When we don't feel good, we need to acknowledge that. When we don't feel good, that's real. I mean, that's real. It's not that we're trying to prevent or suppress or get rid of negative emotion. That's not what it is. We're meant to embrace that negative emotion and to have empathy towards it and understanding that number one, everybody on the planet is going to experience it at some point in their life. Some of us do it more often than would be, you know, best for us, but it is how we live this experience. So when we can remember that the negative emotion isn't a bad thing or a wrong thing, it's an accurate thing. We can't ever ask people to look at something they believe is hurtful, harmful, or upsetting and think that this is great and feel good. That is just weird. We talk about it all the time, but it is kind of something that we've done in our life experiences. Hey, look at this disaster over here, and then wonder why that person is crying in the corner. Like, well, you just told them to look at something that doesn't feel good. So I'm not sure why you'd expect them to jump up and down for joy. So as we go through and record plenty more of these, we're going to talk more and more about that connection and what that looks like.
So, for any of our listeners, if you have any comments or topics or thoughts that you would like us to discuss, please comment below. Until next time.
Thank you, everyone. Remember to tune into that ripple within.